The beggar girl who taught a rich man's son. This is Kemi, a 14-year-old girl who begged for coins outside ShopRite every morning. And this is David, the son of Lagos's richest oil tycoon who couldn't pass a single exam despite having the best tutors money could buy. When their worlds collided under a mango tree, something extraordinary happened. What this barefoot girl taught changed not just a failing student, but an entire billionaire family. Stay with me, because this story will challenge everything you think you know about education and worth. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button for more life-changing stories. The morning sun painted Victoria Island in golden hues as 14-year-old Kemi positioned herself outside the ShopRite entrance. Her bare feet were already dusty from the walk from the bridge where she slept. Her faded yellow dress, once bright, now bore the stains of countless days on the street. In her small hands, she clutched a torn plastic cup and a piece of cardboard with "Please help" scrawled in pencil. Kemi wasn't like other street children. While they played or caused trouble, she listened. When people talked on their phones, she absorbed their conversations. When children passed by with textbooks, she strained to see the pages. When shop owners left newspapers on counters, she read every word she could before being chased away. She'd been orphaned at age 10 when a fire consumed their small house in Makoko, taking her parents and her dreams of finishing primary school. Since then, the streets had been her university, and survival had been her only subject. That morning was different. As she sat by the entrance, holding her cup with quiet dignity, she noticed a boy about her age crying inside a black Range Rover. The car's windows were tinted, but one was slightly down, and she could hear fragments of an angry conversation. "David, your mathematics teacher called again," a deep voice said. "You failed another test. How is this possible? I pay that man 200,000 naira monthly." "I'm sorry, Daddy," the boy's voice cracked. "I just don't understand anything." "Don't understand? I've hired the best tutors in Lagos, professors from the university. What more do you need?" Kemi's heart ached for the crying boy. She knew that sound, the sound of someone who felt stupid, worthless, broken. She had felt it herself when her classmates laughed at her torn uniform before her parents died. The Range Rover door opened, and David stepped out with his father, Chief Okafor. The boy was tall for 14, well-dressed in an expensive school uniform, but his shoulders were slumped in defeat. Chief Okafor was an imposing man in a custom-tailored agbada, his presence commanding immediate respect from everyone around. As they walked toward the shopping center, David accidentally dropped his mathematics textbook. Kemi watched it fall, pages fluttering open to reveal complex equations. Without thinking, she stood and approached the book. "Sir," she called softly. Chief Okafor turned, his expression immediately hardening when he saw a street girl approaching his son. Security guards moved forward, but Kemi simply pointed at the ground. "Your son dropped his book, sir." David looked up, his eyes red from crying. Kemi picked up the textbook gently, as if it were made of gold, and handed it to him. As she did, her eyes caught a glimpse of the open page. "You're learning quadratic equations," she said quietly. David blinked, surprised. You know what those are?" Before Chief Okafor could intervene, Kemi pointed to a problem on the page. "This one is wrong," she said. "The answer should be x equals 3 and -2, not 4 and -1. David stared at the page, then at Kemi. "How do you know that?" "I learned it from listening to students at the bus stop," Kemi replied simply. "They were complaining about the same problem." Chief Okafor's frown deepened. "Young lady, move along. We don't have time for games." But David was studying the problem with newfound interest. "Wait, Daddy. Let me check." He pulled out his phone calculator and worked through the equation using Kemi's method. His eyes widened. "She's right. The tutor got it wrong." For a moment, time stood still. Chief Okafor looked from his son to the barefoot girl who had just solved a problem that had stumped expensive tutors. "How old are you?" he asked Kemi. 14, sir." "Where do you go to school?" Kemi's voice became smaller. "I don't, sir. I lost my parents. I live on the street." Chief Okafor was quiet for a long moment. Then he made a decision that would change everything. "David, we're going to be late for your appointment with Dr. Adebayo," he said. "But tomorrow, after your regular lessons, meet me here." 3 days later, David found himself sitting under a large mango tree behind the shopping complex, his mathematics textbook open between him and Kemi. Chief Okafor had arranged this meeting reluctantly, more out of curiosity than belief. "Okay," Kemi said, her voice patient and gentle. "Don't think of mathematics as numbers that hate you. Think of them as puzzles that want to be solved." David had never heard anyone explain it that way. His tutors always made mathematics feel like a punishment, a test of his worth. But Kemi made it sound like an adventure. "Look at this equation," she continued, pointing to a problem that had frustrated David for weeks. "It's like asking, what number, when you multiply it by itself and add 5, gives you 14? You just have to find the missing piece." As Kemi walked him through the problem step by step, something clicked in David's mind. For the first time in years, mathematics made sense. "I understand," David exclaimed, his face lighting up. "The answer is 3. Kemi smiled, a rare, genuine smile that transformed her entire face. "Exactly. You're not stupid, David. You just needed someone to explain it differently." Their sessions continued every day after David's regular school hours. Kemi would wait under the mango tree, using sticks to draw diagrams in the dirt, explaining concepts with a clarity that years of expensive education had failed to provide. Word began to spread. David's mathematics teacher noticed his dramatic improvement. His confidence grew. For the first time in his academic life, he raised his hand in class. But more than academics was changing. David began to see the world differently. Kemi's wisdom extended beyond textbooks. She taught him about resilience, about finding joy in small moments, about the difference between being educated and being intelligent. "Why do you help me?" David asked one afternoon as they worked through geometry problems. Kemi paused, considering her answer. "My mother used to say that knowledge is the only treasure that grows when you share it. I may not have money or a home, but I have this," she tapped her head, "and if I can help you understand, then maybe I can still be useful to someone." David felt ashamed. Here was a girl who had lost everything, yet she spoke about being useful to others. He had everything but had never thought about being useful to anyone. The transformation wasn't going unnoticed. Chief Okafor had been watching from a distance, initially skeptical but increasingly amazed. His son, who had been failing every subject, was now excelling in mathematics and showing improvement across all subjects. More importantly, David was happier, more confident, more thoughtful. One evening, Chief Okafor approached the mango tree where Kemi was packing up her makeshift teaching materials: stones for counting, sticks for drawing, torn papers for writing. "Kemi," he said gently. She stood immediately, head bowed respectfully. "Yes, sir?" "My son has improved more in these few weeks than in years of expensive tutoring." "How's this possible?" Kemi looked up, her eyes meeting his. "Your son isn't slow, sir. He's just been taught in ways that don't match how his mind works. Some people learn by listening, some by seeing, some by doing. David learns best when he can picture the problems as real-life situations." Chief Okafor was quiet for a long time. Then he asked the question that had been weighing on his mind. "What do you want for yourself, Kemi?" The question caught her off guard. No one had asked her what she wanted in years. I just want to learn, sir. I want to go to school again. And after school, I want to become a teacher. I want to help children who feel stupid understand that they're not. I want to show them that there are many ways to be smart." That night, Chief Okafor couldn't sleep. He thought about his son's transformation, about Kemi's wisdom, about the irony of a street girl teaching his privileged child lessons that went far beyond academics. The next morning, he made another life-changing decision. "Kemi," he said when he found her under the mango tree, "how would you like to go to the best school in Lagos?" Kemi's eyes widened. "Sir? I'm enrolling you in Corona School. Full scholarship, uniform, books, everything. In exchange, I want you to continue helping David, but now as his study partner, not his secret tutor."
Kemi's hands trembled. "Sir, I don't know what to say." "Say yes," David said, grinning widely. "Say yes, so we can learn together properly." But Chief Okafor wasn't finished. "There's more. I'm starting an education foundation. I want you to help design programs for children who learn differently. Children like David. Children who are brilliant, but have been told they're not." Tears streamed down Kemi's face. "But sir, why? Why are you doing all this?" Chief Okafor's voice was soft but firm. "Because you taught me something more valuable than you taught my son. You taught me that wisdom doesn't come from wealth, that the best teachers aren't always the most expensive ones, that sometimes the person who can change your life is standing right in front of you, barefoot, and holding a torn plastic cup. 6 months later, Kemi stood in the assembly hall of Corona School, wearing a crisp uniform, her hair neatly braided, delivering a speech to parents and students about different learning styles. In the audience, David beamed with pride, and beside him, Chief Okafor wiped away tears. Kemi had gone from begging for coins to becoming the youngest education consultant in Lagos. David had gone from failing student to top of his class, and Chief Okafor had learned that the best investment he ever made wasn't in oil wells or real estate, but in recognizing the potential of a girl the world had overlooked. The mango tree still stood behind the shopping complex, but now it had a small plaque, where wisdom was shared and lives were changed. But the real transformation happened in the hearts of 3 people who learned that true education isn't about expensive schools or famous tutors. It's about recognizing that everyone has something to teach and something to learn. And sometimes, the most powerful lessons come from the most unexpected teachers. The moral of this story is profound. Intelligence isn't measured by wealth or status, but by the willingness to learn and teach. True wisdom often comes from those society overlooks. When we open our hearts to learn from everyone around us, we discover that the best teachers might be right in front of us, waiting to change our lives. Kemi's story reminds us that circumstances don't define capability, and that the greatest gift we can give is the opportunity for someone to share their light with the world. We hope this story touched your heart and opened your mind. What did you learn from Kemi's journey? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We read every single one and love hearing how these stories impact your life. A brand new, inspiring story is coming in just a few days. So, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you'll be the first to see it when it drops. If this story moved you, please give it a like and share it with your family and friends. Let's spread the message that everyone has the potential to teach and transform lives, regardless of their circumstances. Thank you for watching. God bless you, and we'll see you in the next story.